construction of marine transport infrastructure, as well as Busisi Bridge, in order to grow the economy of the people and Lake Zone regions. The pledge was made by the presidential candidate of CCM, Dr. John Magufuli, when addressing residents who had turned up at the party's campaign rally held at CCM Kirumba grounds.
Watu hawatakuwa wanahangaika kupita kwenye maji kwa kupanda feri.
People will not struggle to travel on water by using the ferry, and the ferries will be taken to other areas in need. People will now cross over on foot. I know there are those who will not believe it. This is why we're asking you to believe in us in another 5-year period. We push forward the development will in our country. This is why we've come to you to plead with you. In this year's budget, we've set aside 15 billion for a major repair of other ships. We, the youth of Mwanza, the port that was not operating, now we have new ships, and the port is going to operate again. This is an opportunity for the young people of Mwanza. In Kwimba constituency, we now have water from Lake Victoria.
The presidential candidate of Chadema, Tundu Lissu, has arrived in Zanzibar and addressed residents at a campaign rally where he pledged to build a new and free Zanzibar, while the national chairman of the party, Freeman Mbowe, emphasized on the importance of the National Electoral Commission to adhere to election laws.
We must then decide on how we move forward. As Chadema Party, our manifesto shows how to move forward. When we win, it is by the foundation laid by the Warioba Commission, 3 governments. So the people of Zanzibar, you will decide, already being free citizens, you will decide how to move forward. And we, the people of Tanganyika, together with you, we will sit and decide the way forward. We will carry on from where Judge Warioba left.
Tunaungana na wapenda haki wote wa Zanzibar kuitaka Zanzibar ipate uchaguzi ulio huru, uchaguzi ulio wa haki, na anayeshinda kwa ridhaa ya wananchi akabidhiwe nchi yake.
Kwanza tukitoka uwanja wa taifa kuapa, kuja ofisini kwako ni kukwambia mzee, mchakato wa mamlaka kamili Zanzibar tunauanza lini?
And the National Electoral Commission has issued permits to 7 out of 14 civil society organizations to provide voters education, warning them to adhere to election laws.
Tumie nafasi hiyo kuchanganya elimu ya mpiga kura na kampeni za vyama vya siasa.
To use this opportunity include voters' education and political parties' campaigns. In certain cases, you could believe that you are imparting voters' knowledge, which fundamentally should not lean on one side. Without knowing, you find that you've been campaigning. This could happen given the circumstances in which you are imparting this knowledge. Non-governmental organizations have ready access to the people, and you are involved with communities on a daily basis and know what the community requires. We've been trusted and can therefore not take this trust and give it to someone else, because we will be selling to someone undeserving.
Meanwhile, the presidential candidate of Adatedia Party, Juma Ali Katibu, has become the 2nd candidate to return his nomination form to the chairman of Zanzibar Electoral Commission, retired Chief Justice Hamid Mahmoud.
We will take part in the election and we will accept the results. Our goal and hope is winning the presidency. However, we will respect decisions made by voters, and the results from the Electoral Commission will also be accepted.
The police force in Morogoro region has arrested the owner of HBS buses, Ahmad Ali Hamed, and a driver for deliberately burning a bus named Golden Dragon, with registration number T321DKW, and for lying to the force that the cause of the fire was a technical problem on the brakes. The fire incident had occurred at Wami Luhindo area in Mvomero district, Morogoro region, when the bus was traveling from Dar es Salaam to Dodoma.
Baada kumkamata mmiliki wa basi pamoja na driver, waliamua kutueleza ukweli wa nini kilichotokea.
After arresting the owner of the bus and the driver, they decided to tell us the truth on what exactly had happened. They confessed that they carried the bus during the night from Dar es Salaam on a lorry. The driver of the lorry has also been arrested and set it on fire. Our investigation confirms that the bus was just the body, it had no engine.
The parliamentary candidate for Kinondoni constituency on the ACT Wazalendo ticket, Said Kubenea, has appeared in Arusha District Court to face charges of money laundering. Reading the charges, a team of 4 state advocates told the court that on the 5th of September at Namanga border between Tanzania and Kenya, the accused was found with $8,000, 491,700 Kenyan shillings and 71,000 Tanzanian shillings. The accused was returned to remand prison until the 21st of September this year, as bail cannot be granted to suspects of money laundering offences. China has expressed satisfaction on how the presidential, parliamentary and councillorship election campaigns are being conducted. This was said in Dar es Salaam by the Chinese ambassador to Tanzania, Wang Ke, when she met and held talks with the permanent secretary, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs and East Africa Cooperation, Ambassador Brigadier General Wilbert Ibuge.
We have seen a very smooth process of the election, and we give our best wishes to all the parties and candidates, and we hope that, and we are confident that Tanzania will have a free, transparent election.
Baada ya janga la COVID-19,
what we are talking about now is for development activities to resume so as to grow our economy by working together in agriculture and tourism, because there is a need to strengthen these sectors so that they can bring us an economy that grows rapidly, just as we've been doing so far.
And that is all for the national news. International news is next. In international news, a Saudi court on Monday overturned 5 death sentences over dissident journalist Jamal Khashoggi's killing, a final ruling in the case that saw the Washington Post columnist killed and dismembered by a Saudi hit squad. The court handed 20-year sentences to 5 people, and 3 others were sentenced to between 7 to 10 years. The verdict comes after Khashoggi's sons said in May they had pardoned the killers. Kenya's Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union has issued a 2-week nationwide strike notice citing unmet obligations under the 2017-2021 collective bargaining agreement. This comes as Kenya records 35,205 coronavirus cases after 102 people tested positive between Sunday and Monday.
Failure and lackluster approach to address the HRH challenges that have been endemic in the health sector and worsened by the COVID-19 pandemic, we as KMPDU have resolved to consult and mobilize the wider KMPDU membership for industrial action if these challenges will remain unresolved.
It's immoral, it's illegal to hold salary for healthcare worker for more than 3 months. Homa Bay, for example, has never paid. They just paid the other day after holding salaries for more than 3 months. We condemn that with the strongest term possible.
The military and police forces in Uganda have threatened to withdraw VIP escorts for leaders found to be involved in unlawful incidents, and that political leaders will be required to employ security officers to ensure their security.
We still stand by what we said, that those escorts will be withdrawn. Actually, we have done so already. On Friday, I won't mention the names. There's a minister, there's a general. On Friday, there's a general from whom the escorts were withdrawn. Of course, what happened to the minister, that one is already known. And we are continuing, the investigations are going on. Whoever we find that involved themselves will be handled.
That's all for the international news. We'll be back with business news after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
And now in business news. The government of the United States of America has assured Tanzania that it is committed to increasing investment in various sectors and strengthening relations between the two countries. The pledge was made in Dar es Salaam by the U.S. ambassador in the country, Donald Wright, during a meeting with the Minister for Investment, Angela Kairuki.
Is to increase American investment and increase reciprocal trade between the Tanzanians and the Americans. So I will continue over the upcoming months and years to work with Minister Kairuki and others here in the Finance and Investment Ministry to see what we can do to move this agenda forward.
We have a good relationship with the United States, and we are thankful for the areas they set as priority areas, such as health, nutrition, and also in exchange of experience. In education, they have volunteer Peace Corps officers that come and help. They have aided us in preventing poaching, agriculture, and in many other areas.
The Cashew Nut Board of Tanzania, CBT, has said it is determined to ensure experts overseeing quality standards of cashew nuts at storage facilities are paid well and have contracts so as to address various challenges facing cashew nut farmers.
Will ensure the quality inspector at a warehouse must have a contract with a warehouse manager and be paid well, so that if the quality officer does something negative on purpose, we can take action. Before training, there were many challenges. You would find cashew nuts harvested by farmers without them knowing that they need to take them to a warehouse at what moisture level, and because they didn't have people to help them, they would take them there when they have high moisture, leading to cooperatives receiving low standard cashew nuts, causing the market to drop.
The Dar es Salaam Stock Exchange has said despite it being an election year, trading at the stock market will not be affected, as to date more than 1.55 trillion shillings has been traded on government bonds compared to 1.1 trillion shillings last year.
As I've said, since the year started up to now, transactions in the market here at the DSE is on 1.55 trillion in government bonds in comparison to the entire year where it was 1.1 trillion shillings. And that is a huge rise of about 500 billion. And up to now, we are just finishing up this year's third quarter, meaning it may rise doubly in comparison to last year.
That's all for business news. Sports is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's going to be dragged through to second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Len.
And now in sports. Young Africans head coach Zlatko Krompotik has said he will not play Angolan international Carlinhos yet because the player is not ready to play the full 90 minutes. The statement comes after a 1-1 draw in the Premier League game between Yanga Sports Club and Tanzania Prisons.
About this Carlos from Angola, I think this player not is ready to play 90 minutes, you know, and especially for this game, there is opponent very strong team and with power. I think Carlos now with this preparation and this is not is ready to play this game, you know. For this not this play. Carlos is a good talent, good player, but need time to be ready to play 90 minutes.
Simba Sports Club coach Sven van der Broek says he told his players that yesterday's game against the newly promoted Ihefu Sports Club will be tough, contrary to what most anticipated.
We could only lose because the expectations for us was very high. Everyone expected an easy game. I told my boys yesterday and today it's going to be a very difficult game. Maybe the most difficult one of the season. Because for Ihefu it's their first game in VPL and against Simba. So they will be motivated not 100 but 200%. They showed this today with an old-fashioned football, long balls but effective. We had difficulties with their play, but in the end you win. And I told them also before the game, how you win today, I don't care.
Even with reigning MVP Giannis Antetokounmpo missing most of the game with a sprained right ankle, the Bucks extended their season to Game 5.
Chris Middleton scored 21 of his 36 points in the third quarter, then made a huge three-pointer with 6.3 seconds left in overtime, and the Bucks topped the Miami Heat 118-115 in Game 4 of their series. Miami still lead the series 3-1, but will surely spend the next 2 days lamenting how this one got away. The Heat gave up 12 straight points in the final period, wasting what was an 8-point lead in a closeout game. Bam Adebayo had 26 points, 12 rebounds and 8 assists for Miami. Duncan Robinson scored 20 points, Jay Crowder had 18 and Goran Dragic and Jimmy Butler each finished with 17.
Lewis Hamilton has accepted he and Mercedes were at fault in the error that cost him a likely win at the Italian Grand Prix.
The British driver conceded they held themselves accountable and would examine the circumstances to ensure they would not be repeated. The race winner, Pierre Gasly, in contrast, was hugely happy with what he felt was a definitive display of his fighting spirit. Hamilton had led for half the race until he was given a penalty for entering the pit lane when it was closed. It pushed him to the back of the field, from where he did well to take 7th. The team's decision to call him in had been costly, and Hamilton had not seen the signs on the outstanding of the pit lane entry, 2 yellow crosses indicating the pit lane was closed.
Sergio Ramos scored twice as Spain surged to the top of the nation's League A's Group 4 with a 4-0 win over Ukraine in Madrid.
Ramos gave his side the lead with a 3rd-minute penalty, then doubled it just before the half hour. Ansu Fati quickly stretched the home side's advantage, and Manchester City's new signing, Ferran Torres, added 4 led on. Spain had begun their campaign with a draw in Germany, who had to settle for a share of the points again. This time in Switzerland, another City player, Ilkay Gundogan, gave the Germans a first-half lead, but Widmer leveled for the Swiss. Russia have maximum points from their first 2 games in League B's Group 3 after resisting Hungary's revival in Budapest.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.